My name is Serge Zimaleta. I'm 37 years old, and yes, I experienced success after buying my first home for cash. Back in 2011, I was broke, but I learned to solve problems on my own. Now, I'm helping others to solve their problems. I know what pitfalls to avoid to stay profitable in business. Need motivation to be more successful in your life? Do you have Sprinter, Expedite, or business problems? Then subscribe. Let's find creative solutions to your problems. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my helpful videos. Welcome to another David Zimaleta. In today's podcast, we're going to be talking about Expedite again. I just had one of the guys comment on my videos. He's a pretty successful guy. He's got his own a logistics company or something, bids loads and stuff like that. So he said something smart, that he mentioned basically something like, people are willing to just have a job, and this is why they're taking low rates, for delivering loads. And you know what I've been saying to you guys, this is not a job. So stop treating it like one. If you think this is a job, you're gonna find out the hard way in a year or two and be out of business, basically, because this is a business. So if you don't know how to run a business and you got into it thinking it's a job, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. This is a business, and it needs to be run like one. This is obviously a one-person business. Maybe some of you guys, you have drivers and stuff, so that means you got a little fleet going. But this works all the same for fleet or driver. If you're not going to be able to manage it the proper way, get paid the proper amount of dollars, not be able to service your vehicle or afford your insurance because you're taking a low job rates and stuff like that, you're not going to be in this business very long. Here's what's happening, guys. Right now, more and more people are getting into Expedite. But guess what? GM just announced they're going to be cutting 25% of their staff. They're going to be shutting down a lot of plants. So what does this mean for me and for you guys? This means a lot less work to go around for those people that's been delivering. GM, and I deliver Ford as well, so Ford is not doing any of those announcements. But this means those of us that's been doing a lot of GM, now we're gonna have to find loads elsewhere. This means it's going to be pushing a lot of other people out on the side and stuff. So it's almost kind of like a bloodbath. You're either gonna have to take low rates, which I highly don't recommend. If you're gonna have to take low rates, guys, just get out of this business because you're not going to survive. I could be pissed off all I want for you guys taking low rates, but you guys are gonna be the ones that's gonna be in trouble. And then remembering my words, and then other people that try to recommend you to take different type of rates, you're gonna remember those words because you're not gonna be able to afford to survive any longer. You have to really do math, guys. Look, some of you guys have been doing this for 6 months. Take a look at how far off you are today than you were 6 months ago. Chances are, you're really not that far off. Maybe you're in more debt now because you got a Sprinter payment, Ford Transit payment, Dodge ProMaster, what have you, but you're in debt, basically. Maybe you don't have that debt 6 months ago. Now you have it. And now you're starting to feel the pressure. Insurance is very expensive. The fuel prices keep going up. So this means you're thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? I must take low rates because the company's saying, oh, we can't get anything, so take a lesser rate. No, do not take a lesser rate. You know what's happening, guys? For the past week, now, well, first of all, let me mention this, guys. My videos are not exactly coming out exactly that same day when I recorded it. Now, tomorrow's video is, and of course you already listened to that once you're listening to this one, but some topics I choose to release right away, like this one, and some a little bit later. So guess what's happening, guys? For the past week, I was stuck at home. Sure, I was sick, and you could tell I have a little cold right now, but this is not the reason I've been staying home. At first I got a little cough, but I was still available. And guess what, guys? My golden company was not able to find me a load. I could not get out for 1 week, guys. So today's Thursday, tomorrow's gonna be Friday. Guess when I got a load? Friday. So I've been home all week. Can I complain? No, I've been with my family. So if you guys in South Carolina and you're not with your family, you're somewhere stuck at a truck stop, I feel for you. But guess what? Getting a lower rate does not guarantee you're gonna get the job. I'm still getting out at my current rate until we could actually do something about it and raise the rates and raise at least awareness and some transparency with these companies, so that if they want to say they cannot afford to pay us anymore, then they need to be transparent about how much they are getting paid, so that we could come to a reasonable conclusion and a reasonable price to actually get paid. Because it is certainly not reasonable for them to ask you to take a cut, and they don't even take a cut. I mean, think about it, guys. Why should you have to take a cut? You are doing all the work, you're providing all the service, you're making all the payments, you're doing all the basic service for your van. And when I say service, I mean you're actually doing the job. But when I'm talking about this service, like maintenance and stuff like that, you know, regular maintenance would be like oil changes and stuff like that, which doesn't sound like a big deal. But if you're driving a lot, chances are, if you spending, time yourself replacing oil, it's probably costing you about $100 if you're with a Sprinter. Now, if you got some other vehicle, you know, that is probably a lot different. Maybe you don't do your oil changes as often. Maybe you do, depending if it's a gas model or not. But with us diesels, typically 1 month, and we need to do an oil change. That means 10,000 miles. Oil change, about $100, you know, to get all the supplies, because everybody gets a little bit different filter, a little bit different oil. But guys, changing oil, it's the least of your problems. I mean, think about when you got serious problems is going to happen, especially when you're going to get into new diesels and stuff like that. They have the PDF, DEF, EGR. I mean, EGR is pretty common now in gas models as well. But it goes without saying, DEF is very expensive. It costs about $7,000 to fix in a Sprinter, about $5,000 to fix in a Ford Transit diesel. They also have a 5-cylinder model. So with gas models, you don't have to worry about that. So maybe a lot of people are jumping into Ford Transits. This is why we're seeing numbers like 4-to-1 Ford Transits outselling the Sprinters. I got nothing against Ford Transits at all. I actually like the van. I think it's a pretty nice choice. Of course, next year, Mercedes is going to be offering an engine from a Mercedes mattress van in a Sprinter van. That's going to be a very compatible price to the Ford Transit. And maybe for some of you guys that's, you know, in the market of buying a new van, which I don't recommend you get a new van, but if you're in the market of buying one, maybe stick with a Mercedes. I don't know. You know, you be the judge. I mean, these days, you cannot really tell if Sprinters are like Mercedes just because of the brand. It's costing a lot. Because, guys, Ford is not cheap to fix either. Same thing goes for Dodge. Everybody charges per hour, and you have to buy parts and stuff like that. So most places charge between $100 and $150 an hour. And, you know, the labor and stuff is obviously not cheap. And the parts are not cheap. And Ford got some expensive prices, I got to tell you. You know, same thing for the Sprinter, of course. But guys, there's like absolutely no reason for them to be like so expensive for this DEF and particulate filter. I mean, after all, they're trying to save the world, right? From like the climate change, stuff like that. So why make the stuff affordable? I mean, instead, it seems like somebody's really pocketing their pockets, you know, all this money in their pockets, you know, like the fat, you know, I guess corporations that are so hungry for everybody's money, and it's coming out of our pockets, obviously, because the small guy that's operating his van and trying to make money for his family now got to replace a DEF system that costs $7,000. Because chances are, if yours is like malfunctioning, not a lot of places want to fix them, so they're gonna offer you to just replace it. And if you guys run into this problem, please in the comments below tell me how much it cost you. I really want to know, because I've been hearing that they're just throwing in like new systems in there, especially if it's covered by warranty. So that being said, you know, particulate filter as well, it's not very cheap, $3,800 or more just for the part. So with service, probably going to be about like $5,000, very easy. So guys, you really need to think about this. You can't drive for 60 cents and be able to afford, you know, to have like all these services done. I mean, if you're driving like something like a gas model, you have to worry about it obviously. And like I guess I'm not, well, like I really don't want to say like nothing bad about the ProMaster, but you guys know I don't like it. I don't like that van. If you guys like it, good for you. But that van, why don't I like it? Not because of the styling. I think it's just not reliable. Everybody that I spoke to told me so, and personally I don't have any experience with it. But one guy was so mad, he says, look, I'm gonna go to the dealership, I'm gonna stand there with a sign that I got completely ripped off because this thing is a lemon. Now maybe it's just his situation, but I spoke to one guy that's also a viewer of mine. He's a Russian guy. I end up, you know, giving him a call and stuff because he really wanted to talk to me. He got himself a Sprinter, but he says, look what I got now. a Pro Master. It just broke down on me 3 times in a row. I just fixed it, but I don't want to drive it, so I'm going to hop in a Sprinter. So a choice of a van is a choice of a van. You guys have your own right to choose what you're going to drive. You know, but it goes without saying, you can't work for dirt cheap prices, because that service on, you know, your Ford or your diesel, doesn't matter when, something's going to break sometime soon. And it might be like an engine, transmission, and it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to fix it. I mean, look at the sensors alone. Man, they're expensive. Some of these sensors are 400 to 500 bucks. In some cases, even more. I mean, you know, these parts are ripping us off left and right. So how are we supposed to drive for these low rates and stay in business? And this is a business. We cannot survive with this. Why do you think I still stick with a T1N Sprinter? I mean, I do like the van, don't get me wrong, but I'm staying with it because, first of all, it's economical, it is easy to maintain, it is a lot cheaper to have insurance on it. Upkeep is so much cheaper because I know how to fix the van. And for those of you guys that have the T1N, congratulations, because you found my channel. There's a lot of helpful information. Sure, I'm not going to claim I'm like the best one to fix them, but do you see anybody else that's trying to really help you fix these things? So even though I'm not a mechanic, I'm going to share as much as I can with you guys, you know, so that you have a better chance of survival. But I'm sorry for all the other vans. I mean, I don't have them. I mean, I am mechanically inclined, so maybe I do know some things, but that does not mean just because I do, you'll be able to actually stay in business with these low rates. So here's what's going on, guys. Let's get back to the subject of me staying home for 1 week. Was that because of the price? I don't think so. The company's taking a normal rate as they normally would. They just cannot get any loads. So do not think under assumption for any reason that just because you lower your price, you got a better chance of getting out. I don't think so. Price is not always an issue. In some cases, it can be. But think about this, guys. I mean, would you rather work 3 days for like 60 cents? So the 4th day, I mean, it would be like, again, like you're losing like 20 cents at a time. So it means you could have like covered the, you know, 4th day if you would have driven like, you know, like for 80 cents. Like for 80 cents, you could drive 3 days versus 4 days for 60 cents. I guess that's really what I'm trying to say, okay? And I'm not saying 80 cents is good either. 80 cents is not good by any means. But what's going on is because these guys with 60 cents, they're hurting prices. So other companies, when they're paying 80 cents, now they're thinking they're doing good. But guys, look at the insurance. Insurance is crazy. I mean, look at your state. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but for some reason, Progressive is getting out of hand. They're buying up small companies, and they're having us pay now very expensive prices. I was talking to one guy last week, and guess what he said? He said he used to enjoy a really good payment of $200 per month for his insurance, commercial insurance. But guess what? An agent that he's been with 15 years came around and said, listen, we can't sell you that cheap insurance anymore because Progressive came in and that bought that part of the company. Now we have to sell you Progressive. And that's going to be $18,000. Cha-ching. I mean, you know, this guy, I mean, poor guy. I feel it for him. His insurance payment is $1,500 basically per month. His van payment is $700. So think about it. The insurance payment is double of what the van payment is. So, I mean, it's no longer the question whether you should buy a new van from the dealership. It's like, what's going on with insurance? I mean, something's got to be done somewhere. You know, guys, I don't know where to begin. I do got some ideas. I will be making videos on this. But guys, let me know. I mean, what can we do about this crazy insurance? This thing is crazy. I mean, I guess first of all, let's look at the insurance for a bit here, okay? Why are we paying $1 million liability, $100,000 cargo? Why? Well, because our company, logistics company, are requiring us to pay this much, right? But why are they requiring us to buy insurance like that? And it's simply because the broker is asking them that we do, or they're not going to get any loads. So what does this mean? The broker, first of all, is profiting like the most from the load. And now he's, you know, he doesn't care about the driver. He just cares about covering his butt. You know, so he sells this load to like a logistics company. Now they got to make their money, so they're going to give you the rest of the money. And, you know, everybody has taken their cut, and you're left with paying the bigger price and getting a very little reward for it. So the broker is the one that really needs to change the pricing. I mean, maybe by us not working for 1 day or 1 week can get the brokers to lower the requirement for the insurance. Maybe this can help us lower the insurance rate. What do you think about, guys? I mean, this is the only solution I could come up with. Why should we, van operators that not even regulated by the DOT, should pay exactly the price that semi-trucks are paying? I mean, don't you think it's a little bit unfair? And then these big dogs, you know, corporations like Progressive, which I used to think was a decent company, I think they're the scum of the earth. And I'm sorry to say it, but I'm not going to take it back. They are the scum of the earth. They are bottom feeders. They are bottom feeding on the little guy, Sprinter owner, and then all these other vans, Expedites, that they know are not making that much money. There's absolutely no reason to be charging us so much money. We're not even going to do nearly as much damage as the semi-trucks. I mean, the most damage we're going to do is to our van and to ourselves if we're going to get in an accident. I mean, we should be probably required to carry the same exact insurance that is required when you open up your motor carrier and DOT, which I haven't checked recently, but correct me if I'm wrong if you guys have. I think it's what, 300,000 liability, and I don't even think they require cargo. So cargo is totally like another question. So why are we carrying $1 million? And then my company turning around and they're charging me $100 a month because they have to buy insurance for me as well. So I'm paying my insurance and I'm paying my company's insurance. I mean, because they're trying to cover their butts twice. And I'm not trying to blame them, but that's because all these new rules are coming out. I mean, technically companies should carry insurance. We're not supposed to be carrying insurance, guys. Technically, we're not. So why do you think I say that? I mean, first of all, think about it. You are working under their motor carrier number. You are not working under your own motor carrier. Therefore, you are basically paying the companies, logistics actually companies, insurance for them. You are paying their insurance. So now they have taken the, you know, the cost of them running their business and they transfer the cost to the driver. Yet, at the same price, they're willing to give us less money. I mean, shouldn't we actually have to raise, you know, this question to the companies and say, listen, I mean, guys, enough of us actually going to need to get it together about this. But we're going to say, listen, you're going to have to provide insurance, not us. It's your motor carrier number. We are taking loads under their motor carrier number. Yet, if we're going to do the accident, guess whose butt is on the line? Yours, not the logistics companies. So they have taken all the risk of running a company from them and transferred to the driver. I mean, don't you think it's a little bit unfair? So guys, let's look at this bigger picture now. Can these companies survive without us van drivers? Heck no, they can't. They cannot survive 1 week without us drivers. They do not own any vans for the most part. Now, some companies are buying their own vans. I'm not going to say they don't, but they got very few of their own vans. They can't possibly cover the amount of loads that they're covering with all the drivers that they're having. So this means if we stop taking these cheap lowball offers and try to get some kind of reasonable negotiations on the table, they're going to be losing money, guys. And we're probably going to be losing money too. But guys, we need to, I don't know, like put our foot down or something. You know, you can't just because you think you can, you know, like make a payment and stuff on your, you know, vehicle, whatever, you know, like, and not do this and keep taking low rates. Like, I mean, think about this, guys. If you're going to like not work for like 1 week and we actually do create change, we're going to have reasonable offer on the table. I mean, don't you think it's going to actually raise the prices up pretty much immediately? Because, I mean, we can't do that. Truckers have done it many times successfully. But I don't know how, but for some reason, truckers are able to get together on this and actually stop all work, all transportation, and be successful at getting their prices up. But guys, guess what? We are not trucks. We are hot shot drivers. These loads really got to get there. This means if your load is not there, assembly line possibly gets shut down. And you think, who's going to be to blame? Sure, that company is not going to like it that, you know, your logistics company did not, you know, deliver this load. But you know who's actually going to get the most problems? Is the broker that promised to cover those loads for them. They're gonna come at the broker and say, listen, we're paying you so much money to cover this freight. Why isn't this covered? And it's because the broker choosing to take half of the money for himself or more than half. You know, if you guys know the actual number, please put in the comments below. But they are taking a huge chunk of money. This means they're gonna actually give a lot less to the logistical company. This means the driver is gonna make so much less. And those companies, logistical companies that work directly with huge corporations like Ford and GM, need to pay the driver what they deserve, because they are getting loads directly from the factories. And that's actually how my company is. But we all need to get together on this and get on the same page for us to get something big done. This needs to happen. So guys, here's what I recommend we do. Get together at a truck stop, go around, let's do the word of mouth thing, go like to each van, find drivers, get the conversation going, show them my channel. Let's get together in the comment section of my channel. Let's have our channel like the discussion board, like the blog post, like the video. That way we could all discuss. I'm going to read all the comments. I'm going to reply in the comments below. And then I'm going to make a video following, this video. And we could actually make something happen. Because, guys, something needs to be done. Everybody's talking about it. Nobody's doing nothing about it. Guys, please, have balls to do this. Because you're the ones that really need it the most. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. God bless you.
Saw your picture